The work I bring you here is the result of a reflection that started with my PhD research, which has been focusing on media literacy, media creation, creativity, and youth civic engagement. It is important to start by explaining you what my point of departure was for this reflection. In today's information-rich world, media literacy is increasingly vital and closely linked to citizenship. While access and comprehension are widely studied dimensions, creation is equally relevant and rich, though less studied. Media creation, it reflects an individual's confidence and interest in producing content and promotes new opportunities to communicate, to express ideas and opinions, therefore participating through diverse media languages and formats. Furthermore, we live in a panorama marked by the dissolution of the previously existing barriers between public and media, which made it possible for individuals to acquire the knowledge and skills that are necessary to access, to construct, deconstruct, share contents, ideas, and knowledge. And so this was my main premise, the idea that media creation can be pertinent for research in the communication sciences field, because it can provide us insights into how individuals engage with and shape the evolving media landscape, because it can help us reflect upon cultural and societal contexts and also understand better individuals' worldviews and citizenship dynamics. And so if collecting youth and collecting citizenship is challenging, doing it in formal education context can be even harder. Usually, researchers have to deal with peer pressure from the point of view of participants, usually the younger ones. We face strict structures in terms of schools. Teachers are not always willing to give up class time to take part in researches, and it is usually hard to engage students with traditional data collection methods. Digital narratives, they can lead to opportunities to explore young people's skills and enhance their civic education and posture. They are an art-based research method that can clarify complex narratives in a captivating way. They can increase participant engagement or even exploring multimodal and media usage skills. And so when planning the methodology for my research, my PhD research, and considering that I wanted to study media creation in formal educational settings with young people, it was clear that digital narratives could be the way to do it. The digital narratives were created together with students within the intervention phase, which took place in 2 secondary schools. We conducted a total of 9 activities within 5 different disciplines, with a total of 197 students from 8 different classes between the 10th and the 12th grade. Regarding the main results of the research, it is important to point out that by taking as a starting point issues from school curricula closely related to contemporaneity and teenagers' lives, creating digital narratives allowed to exploring their interests, their perceptions, beliefs, and notions. And it's curious to see that even though in the first session most of the students mentioned that they didn't know the concept of digital narratives, most of them were able to create them and to identify mandatory requirements for a digital narrative. At the same time, popular culture is of great importance in the life of young people, often appearing as a topic for discussion and as an inspiration for the creation and expansion of new narratives. The option to start their narratives from popular cultural references, such as movies and series, came up in 2 different moments, either when participants were confronted with themes to which they directly relate to youth, such as gender and sexuality, or when confronted with topics with which they had no personal experience, but about which they found references in popular culture, so it was a matter of familiarity. So considering all these aspects, I'm bringing you some conclusions and maybe some points for further research and discussion. So even though these methods highlight the role of research participants and their agency in research focused on their lives, they also pose challenges. There is a high level of susceptibility, which imposes the need to read between the lines and to respect the limits of the participants, both in terms of competencies and in terms of the messages explored and shared. And also they pose major ethical challenges that need to be considered when planning the research. Informed consent and anonymity, digital literacy, digital vulnerability, representation and empowerment, and also cultural sensitivity and contextualization. And so, discussing and negotiating all the steps with the participants before and during the research can be a way to truly value their contributions. And also, conducting collective reflections about the data collected is fundamental to desiccating meanings and exploring the perceptions and ideas explained in the participants' creations.